Deep beneath the Chihuahuan Desert of southeastern New Mexico lies one of the most spectacular natural wonders in North America. A hidden world of massive chambers, delicate formations, and absolute darkness that has captivated explorers, scientists, and visitors for over a century. This is Carlsbad Caverns, a labyrinth carved by time itself, where every chamber tells a story millions of years in the making. Today, we're descending 750 feet below the surface to explore this underground masterpiece, uncovering its ancient origins, its fascinating human history, and the remarkable features that make it truly one of a kind. To understand Carlsbad Caverns, we need to travel back 250 million years to the Permian period. At that time, this part of New Mexico wasn't a desert, it was the edge of an ancient inland sea. Along the shoreline, a massive reef system formed, built by algae, sponges, and other marine organisms. This reef, known today as the Capitan Reef, would eventually become the limestone foundation for the caverns. As millions of years passed, the sea dried up and the reef was buried under sediment. Then, between 4 and 6 million years ago, the region began to uplift. Rainwater, made slightly acidic by carbon dioxide, began seeping through cracks in the limestone, slowly dissolving the rock and creating the first cavities. But here's where Carlsbad's story becomes unique. Unlike most caves, Carlsbad Caverns underwent a second, more aggressive phase of dissolution. Deep underground, hydrogen sulfide gas mixed with oxygen in groundwater to form sulfuric acid. This powerful acid ate away at the limestone much faster, creating the enormous chambers that make Carlsbad so exceptional. For thousands of years, the entrance to Carlsbad Caverns remained largely unknown, though Native Americans likely knew of its existence. The cave's dramatic discovery came in the late 1800s through the eyes of a teenage cowboy named Jim White. In 1898, White was working on a ranch when he noticed what appeared to be a massive column of smoke rising from the desert floor. Riding closer, he realized it wasn't smoke, it was an enormous swarm of bats emerging from the cave at dusk. Mesmerized, White resolved to explore the cavern's depths. Armed with little more than a homemade wire ladder and a kerosene lantern, White made his first descent around 1898. What he found astonished him. Massive rooms adorned with spectacular rock formations, chambers so large his lantern couldn't reach the ceiling, and passages that seemed endless. For the next 2 decades, White explored obsessively, often taking curious visitors on tours by rope ladder. At first, few believed White's descriptions. The formations seemed too fantastic to be real. But White was persistent, and gradually word spread. In 1915, photographs finally provided proof of the cavern's magnificence. Before becoming a tourist destination, the cavern was actually a mining operation. During World War I, bat guano was in high demand as fertilizer. Mining operations extracted nearly 100,000 tons from the caverns between 1903 and 1923. Jim White worked as a guano miner and guide during this period, all the while advocating for the cave's protection. His persistence paid off. In 1923, President Calvin Coolidge proclaimed Carlsbad Cave National Monument, and in 1930, Congress established Carlsbad Caverns National Park. Jim White remained involved for the rest of his life, serving as chief ranger and continuing to lead tours. The crown jewel of Carlsbad Caverns is the Big Room. This single chamber covers more than 8 acres and reaches heights of up to 255 feet, large enough to fit 6 football fields inside. It is the largest single cave chamber by volume in North America. Walking the 1.5-mile trail through the Big Room is otherworldly. The chamber is filled with an astounding variety of formations.
Towering stalagmites rise from the floor like stone trees, some reaching over 60 feet. Delicate soda straws hang from the ceiling like crystal chandeliers. Massive columns, formed where stalactites and stalagmites have joined over millennia, support the ceiling like pillars in a natural cathedral. Among the most famous formations is the Rock of Ages, an enormous flowstone that has become one of the park's most photographed features. Then there's the Bottomless Pit, which, despite its ominous name, is about 140 feet deep. And the Temple of the Sun, a cluster of formations so intricate it seems almost sculpted by hand. What makes these formations remarkable is that they're still growing. Every drop of mineral-rich water deposits a microscopic layer of calcite. Most formations grow less than an inch per century. Some of the largest formations may be hundreds of thousands of years old. The bat flight, nature's greatest show. While the caverns are a geological wonder, they're also home to one of the most spectacular wildlife displays in North America, the nightly bat flight. Every evening, from late spring through fall, hundreds of thousands of Brazilian free-tailed bats emerge from the cavern's entrance in a spiraling, tornado-like formation. These bats can number up to 400,000 during peak season. Each night, they exit to hunt insects across the surrounding desert, consuming up to half their body weight. A single night's hunt can remove tons of insects from the ecosystem, natural pest control that benefits local agriculture. The bat flight was what first drew Jim White to the cave, and it remains one of the park's most popular attractions. The Park Service hosts bat flight programs at an outdoor amphitheater, where rangers provide interpretation as visitors watch the bats spiral out into the twilight sky. While most visitors experience the big room, Carlsbad Caverns is far more extensive. The park contains over 119 known caves, with more than 30 miles of mapped passages in Carlsbad Cavern alone. Some sections, like Lechiguia Cave, are accessible only to researchers. Discovered in 1986, Lechiguia is even deeper than the main cavern, reaching 1,604 feet and extending over 138 miles. It contains some of the most pristine and unusual formations ever discovered, including rare gypsum formations found nowhere else on Earth. In 1995, Carlsbad Caverns was designated a UNESCO World Heritage Site, recognized for its outstanding universal value and scientific importance. Scientists continue to discover new passages, new species, and new insights into underground ecosystems. Today, Carlsbad Caverns welcomes around 400,000 visitors each year. Visitors can take the natural entrance route, descending via a steep trail that follows the path early explorers took, or use the elevator that drops 750 feet in less than a minute. The self-guided tour through the big room allows exploration at your own pace, while ranger-guided tours offer access to more remote sections like the King's Palace. For the truly adventurous, wild cave tours involve crawling and climbing through undeveloped passages, an experience closer to what Jim White felt during his pioneering explorations. Carlsbad Cavern stands as one of New Mexico's greatest treasures, a testament to the power of water, acid, and time. From an ancient reef beneath a prehistoric sea, to a cowboy's lantern-lit discovery, to a world-renowned national park, the story of Carlsbad Caverns is one of transformation and wonder. It's a cathedral of stone, a museum of deep time, and a reminder that our planet still holds secrets waiting to be discovered in the darkness below.